All right, what's up, what's up, everybody? Sorry about the mumbling there. I'm gonna show you a little bit of overclocking stuff right now. That's kind of what a lot of people are into. If you're a gamer, you want to overclock your stuff at times. Just try to push it to the extreme. Overclocking your, say, GPU or CPU and RAM. I have all three of mine overclocked, and you just overclock them a little bit and you'll get quite a bit of a difference, especially on like a 3D mark rating or any kind of bench testing that you're doing, anything like that at all. You'll get a pretty good rating for. Now, there is one thing I want to show you right away. This is my motherboard. Now, this is not a picture of my exact motherboard. My RAM's running it different. This is not mine. Um, but this is just a picture I got off the internet right quick to show you all that this is my BIOS that I run. And it's got AI tweaker here, which is a bunch of overclocking stuff. You can go into advanced, which is just frequency, a little bit more overclocking, and voltage set, a lot of voltage settings, RAM latency, things like that. It's a damn good BIOS. It's a damn good motherboard. But for some reason, I could not manually overclock my processor in there. It would not allow me to do it. It was grayed out. And I tried a bunch of different ways, and it did not work. That being said, I decided to go with AMD Ryzen Master. It's a software. I run an AMD processor, so it goes right along perfectly with it. And that's basically the way you want it to be. I go in here and I go to game mode. I go to manual. Let's see here. Manual. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I didn't go to manual. I went to auto overclocking. That's what I did here. I went to auto overclocking and did apply and test, and it's been applied, and it's running my current overclocked status. So I recommend that AMD Ryzen Master. I don't know much about it. You all could probably teach me something. I usually overclock my CPU through the motherboard. Like I said, I've done it numerous times before, but even with this gaming motherboard I have and this nice processor setup, it just wasn't allowing me to do it. I had to figure out a different way to go about doing it, so I went with this program here, and it seemed to work pretty good. So that's that. Something else I want to show you is MSI Afterburner. You can get this free off the internet. There's no pro version. It's just a free program. MSI Afterburner. I highly recommend you download this. It's a GPU overclocking software. And, well, let's see here. We'll get that put on. I don't know why it's not picking up any of my stuff. That's a little weird. It's not picking up my, oh, there we go. I don't know what it was doing. It was being weird. Wasn't picking up my overclocking. There we go. So now I've got the core clock overclocked to 110 megahertz over. I've got the memory clock over to 200. I've got the power limit up to 110 and the core voltage up to 20. And I've turned my fan speed up to 100. It's a bit louder. You can hear the fans, but I can hear them. You probably can't on the video, but point is they're louder. But that overclocks your video card. And that's a good program to run. Not sure why that opened. That's a good program to run. It's one of the best ones I recommend. And it also comes with River Tuner, a statistics overclocking piece of software. I don't use it, but it's decent enough. And then so that was MSI Afterburner, AMD Ryzen Master I showed you, and I showed you my BIOS, what it looks like. And then you go back to your CPU ID. And it's going to let you know here. It's showing what my core processor's doing as it's boosting. doing its different stuff. It boosts to 48, 50 megahertz, which is not that bad. I mean, if you're coming, in my opinion, if you're coming 200 megahertz or closer to 5,000 megahertz, you're running a pretty good processor. And there's some out there that are pricey that'll boost to that. But just what I said, they're pricey. This is an 8-core, 16-thread processor. It's nothing to laugh at. It works pretty decent. You know, so that's pretty much all I have for you right here. I just wanted to show you some of that overclocking stuff and some of the ways you can go into the BIOS. Like I said, I'll show you this here again real quick. You can go to AI Tweaker Advanced. I wish I could show you this stuff in real life. I can if I run a virtual machine and boot up Windows 11, and I may do that to show you guys this. Because obviously I can't run my software to record stuff while I'm restarting my computer and getting into the BIOS. So the only way I'd be able to show you all is to run a virtual machine and do that. So that'll probably be my next setup. Matter of fact, what we're going to do is we're going to go right now. This is the first process to getting the software that you need off the internet through a torrent. Torrents are files that are shared off other people's computers, and they're not directly from a website. You can get viruses that way, but 9 times out of 10, people are pretty good about stuff, and they're not trying to infect your computer with viruses. We're going to go with basic. We'll download that now. There's BitTorrent, uTorrent. There's a few different ones out there. I recommend uTorrent. That's just the one I like to use. Addicts, let all this, you don't want to start it with Windows. Let all the rest of this stuff go through. And while that's doing that, I'm going to go to the website where I can actually get my virtual machine. Going to the piratebay.org. Type in VMware. See what it brings up here. VM Workstation Pro. That's what we want right there. We click the little magnet, and it'll open it. Oh boy. With your uTorrent you just installed. We'll just leave it at the default in downloads, and we'll download this real quick. It should not take long at all. Whoops. Didn't mean to open that. Go back up to here. And we're just going to close all of this right now. We're downloading VMware Workstation Pro. It's a torrent file. That's the way I recommend everybody getting games, software, anything you need. This is another free way to do it. VMware Workstation Pro costs money. I don't know how much. Nor do I really care, because I just go online and download it from a torrent. Again, nothing secretive about it. A lot of people do it. I did not discover this or design it on my own. I am not a god. This is just something I've actually been downloading and using torrents since the early 2000s, 2002 times in that era. Torrents were popular then, and they've never gone away. They're just a perfect way for people to share files from their computer to others over the internet through a basic piece of software. Works out real well. So that's downloading. It's only downloading at about 2.9 megabytes per second, which is kind of slow. It's got a couple minutes to go. That being said, though, VMware Workstation Pro, right? All right. That being said, we need to have an operating system that we want to install. Now, I do have Windows 11, like I've told you. And that's probably what I'm going to install on my virtual machine, because this time I want to show you guys all the ways of overclocking and going into the BIOS and doing different things like that. And I also want to show you how to install a new operating system if you don't know how to do it. So I want to do all that with my virtual machine with my Windows 11 setup, which I have. That's not going to be any problem at all. This just has another minute to go. So we'll just kind of wait on that for a quick sec. Once that's downloading, or done downloading, I'll show you how we get it installed here. We're at 50 seconds left. It's not taking too long at all. Alright, and the download is finishing up. And we're done. So, we'll go up here into our downloads. VMware Station Pro. VMware Station Pro. So we're going to need to extract this. We're just going to go ahead and do that real quick. We've got to extract the file so we can install it. Here we go. I don't need that. Enhanced keyboard driver, add VMware Workstation console tools into system path. That's fine. Check for updates on startup. We don't want to do that because we got it off a pirate website, Pirate Bay. We don't want to join anything. We will go on the desktop, not a start menu, and we'll install it. Now as you install it here, it's installing virtual network drivers, which are basic. It's almost like doubling up on drive. It's installing drivers to install new operating systems and this and that on your virtual setup. So here we put in the license. We come here, we get a key, copy. Control V, enter, finish. We're done. It was as simple as that. Now we've got the virtual machine workstation loaded right here. What we want to do is click create a new virtual machine. Typical recommended, create a workstation, virtual machine in a few easy steps. This down here I don't recommend. I've looked into it. Normally I would go custom in advance, but there's some things down here I just don't agree with, so we're going to go with typical. Installer disk. We're not going to go with that. I will install the operating system later. Microsoft Windows will be the operating system we're going to use. Maximum disk size 60 gigabytes for Windows 10 or later. Now Linux I installed once before on this VMware and it only needed 20. Apparently it needs 60 for installing Windows 11. But so I could show you guys everything that's going on. That's the way we're going to have it. So we got that dialed in here. Now we can turn it on if we want to. We can power this bad boy on. The host supports AMDV, but AMDV is disabled. Oh, now see, I've got to go in and turn my virtualization on through my BIOS. And I'm not going to be able to do that until I restart my computer. So that being said, we'll let you go for now, and I'll get a new video going on once I restart my computer. Thank you.